Alcohol, a substance that analyzed through the lens of a college student has mainly positive connotations. As young adults, we go out, we party, we drink. It's natural. Not much thought goes into it. Everyone seems to do it. There may be subconscious motives, and they may differ from person to person. But at the end of the day, we get drunk, we pass out, we're hungover, and life goes on. What students don't consider and don't realize is that college is a time when habits are formed. Alcohol is something that, if seldom consumed, can have little to no effect on your future, but if consumed carelessly, can lead to addiction. I invite you now to visit with some current college students as we take an introspective gaze into alcoholism.
First time I drank was in 7th grade at my friend's house during spring break. We were in his bathroom and he went and took a handle from his dad's liquor cabinet, handle Smirnoff, and I literally had no idea what the effects were or anything, but then I drank it, I liked it, I just couldn't stop laughing and smiling. Felt like a good time.
The first time I ever drank alcohol was my sophomore year of high school on New Year's, over Christmas break, and I got drunk and I didn't really enjoy it because I felt sick, so I didn't really drink after that for like 2 months.
Probably like 13 years old, 12. That was my first with alcohol, but like first time I actually started drinking was like probably like 15, and it was pretty awesome.
First time I drank was when I was 16 with my family in Mexico. It was after an AP test. I was really stressed out, so my parents bought me a bottle of tequila at the border. But I did not get drunk.
First time I drank alcohol, I was probably 10. We were in Mexico, we were on a cruise, and I had a Corona with wine, and Corona is my favorite beer ever since.
The first time I got drunk, I was on a houseboat with like 6 of my friends, and we had a handle of kettle wine.
First time I got really drunk and blacked out, you mean, or like?
Just got drunk.
Probably 15 years old again. First time I drank crazy when I was 15. I got pretty drunk, threw up a couple times, and yeah, it was pretty, yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and I didn't get sick. So that was cool.
Did I drink consistently after my first time?
I would drink when I go to parties, but I'd never wake up one day and be like, I want some alcohol.
Junior year, everyone started drinking more often. We could all drive, so people could buy alcohol or get alcohol from people.
Mom had a handle of Svedka vodka, and if you've ever tried Svedka, it's not very good. So she gave it to my older brother, and he didn't like it, so he gave it to me. And so it was the first time me and my friends got drunk, and I have not had Svedka ever since.
I did drink at least once a month. At that point until sophomore year, just became rage mode every weekend.
The first time I got drunk was the first week of senior year.
No, I don't have any worries of becoming an alcoholic.
My friends and I were to Sedona, and Honey Boo Boo was on TV, so we drank every time. Subtitles came on Honey Boo Boo. And yeah, I got pretty drunk. And we had security call on us. It was fun.
Now I probably drink 3 times a week. Have an alcoholic beverage at least 3 times a week.
I usually drink about once or twice a week, and it's usually in a social setting.
In 20 to 30 years, I probably see myself as a casual drinker. Maybe have a beer or two when I'm out to dinner. At home, same deal, no more than 2 drinks a night. Keep it to a minimum.
I'm sure in 20 or 30 years I'll probably drink a glass of wine every now and again, but I won't be taking shots in 20 years.
Ethically, I won't be thinking about getting hammered. I'll be thinking about that in 5 to 10 years.
Drinks like red wine, good for the heart, cardiovascular system.
Now that concludes our interview portion of the film. I now invite you to watch with me an interview from an outside source of a 20-year-old who is suffering with alcohol addiction.
Okay.
Okay. I started drinking in my sophomore year of high school. I think most of my friends had already started drinking, but I just kind of fell into going to the parties about that time. I'd say it was about peer pressure, but at the same time it wasn't, because you didn't feel like you were being pressured. It was just everybody was doing it. So yeah, it was peer pressure, but they weren't telling you that, you were being stupid if you weren't drinking. In the beginning, it was about getting drunk. That was really the only point. You wanted to outdo all your friends and see how much more you could drink than them. And at that point, we all had a really low tolerance, so it really didn't matter how much you drank, because you'd only get a couple in you and be pretty gone. In the beginning, we drank a whole lot. Once we got access to alcohol, being underage is kind of hard. It's more of an adventure trying to find ways to get it. So it's sitting outside of a guy's work until he gets off for 3 hours to get a 6-pack of beer, or going up to every gas station hoping they don't card you, and when they do, running outside and saying, I don't have my ID with me. Countless times doing that. Yeah. In the beginning, we drank as often as we could. In high school, it was kind of like, we weren't in the jock crowd, we weren't in the cheerleader crowd, we weren't really in a clique, if you want to say it, so we were just kind of the rebel clique, and we just, honestly, it was probably more of the party group. We were known for being the partiers, and we just drank as often as we could, kind of to feed into that, I guess, to keep that going. I stopped drinking recently, just a few months ago, to kind of life was changing for me, and I kind of noticed what I was doing that was really kind of opened my eyes up. You get to a point where you do it so much that it kind of hits you that maybe this isn't the best thing for me to do, and life comes at you fast. And so I slowed down, and I knocked it down to instead of getting drunk every other night, I was having a couple beers here and there to be social. In the beginning, alcohol made me feel good. It was kind of a way to, in high school, you were so much stressed out about keeping good grades, and I know that sounds kind of petty, but getting drunk at night, it was more fun than school and led for good stories. As I got older, it kind of became more of just a way to relax and take off from the day. Get out of work, have a couple beers, feel good about yourself, just kind of go to bed good, maybe sleep a little better. In the beginning, I blacked out a whole lot. Don't remember most of my partying experiences. And then once you get older, you don't really tend to black out as much. If you pass out here or there, yeah, but you don't tend to black out as much because you don't drink till you just go. First year of college, we kind of didn't really take it too seriously. It was community college, which some people look at it as a joke. We kind of just took it as it was a step up to getting to 4-year university. But we were all about having fun. And me and a friend, I won't say her name, we'll just call her Rhonda. And we would get to school every morning, and I would try to bring something. I worked with some people that could get some alcohol, and I'd try to get some alcohol from them, and we'd have just a few drinks before class just to make it fun. And it really kind of made that semester. I ended up getting academic probation that semester, but it was worth it. You learn. But we would have anything you can imagine. I think even one time we I brought sherbet, and we had pina coladas before math class, and you'd go in and it would kind of relax you, and you'd have a good time in class. And I think I passed most of those classes actually that year, so that's kind of ironic. But and then I think I even one time took red wine in a Deer Park water bottle into my history class and was sipping on that. That was kind of interesting. That was a first, but that was a kind of thing. I don't know how many kids do that, but we did it. We had a good time doing it. Had one night where it was to be a casual bowling alley night, and ended up getting a couple liters of Wild Irish Rose, which is considered bum wine, which you get a liter for like $4. So there's no way you can go wrong, and it had a lot of alcohol percentage in it. So I got a couple of those and a couple packs of Coronas, and went to the bowling alley to meet some friends, and it ended up turning out. I was going to have a few beers, have a few sips of the Rose, and then go on inside and bowl a few games. And I had a few sips of the Rose, and I don't remember the whole rest of the night. The next thing I remember was my mom and my dad yelling at me in my hallway when I'm laying on my comforter and my pillow on the downstairs hallway, which kind of confused me, if anything. I was told later that I had both 2 liters of all 2 liter altogether of the Wild Irish Rose, and went into the bowling alley trying to get 2 lanes, and they said that I actually blacked out at the counter, and I hit my head on the counter, and then it was laid out on the floor. They said I was trying to hit on a married woman. They said I tried to start a fight, and all things that I don't remember because that was bad, but they ended up getting me home, and I ended up puking most of the night, and my parents ended up actually having to call the emergency room to ask, what to do, and find out what was wrong with me. It turns out I did have alcohol poisoning. When my friends got me home, I was actually foaming out of the nose and mouth. They said it was like an orange. Well, one friend said it was glittery. I don't know what to take of that, but I guess it was just an odd looking. I'm assuming it was just stomach acid, but it was coming out of my nose and mouth, and it freaked out my parents and my friends. So that was a really bad day, and I had to be at work at 7 o'clock the next morning, and the funny thing was my dad actually made me go to work the next morning, and they let me go home 10 minutes after I got there because I spent the first 10 minutes puking in the bathroom. So that was the worst night with alcohol.